You right now. Full power for life. Ooh yeah! Welcome back, Full Heel Podcast. Yeah, joining me today. Yeah, once again. What's going on, Ryan?
How am I supposed to follow up that kind of an intro? Jesus Christ. Holy crap. The Macho Man
Yeah.
Part 2. I'm so excited. I'm happy that we decided to do this, strike while the iron's hot, and continue our discussion that we started last week on one of the all-time greats.
Mm-hmm. One of my top three. So he
Yep,
rounds off my top three. But
for sure, for sure.
if you guys are joining us for the first time on YouTube or anywhere else, please hit that subscribe button. Smash that like button for us. And what me and Ryan do here is just two buddies getting together, talking old school wrestling, new wrestling, what happened like yesterday, what's happening, what we think is going to happen, shit like that. But it's just two buddies talking wrestling. So I hope you can enjoy us discussing something that brings us joy. And I hope, it does bring a lot of people joy. And before we get into it, the Macho Man Part 2, the WCW days. Did you get a chance to at least hear what happened yesterday on TLC?
Yes, I saw the Orton match. I saw the, I guess, triple threat match for McIntyre's title.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see Reigns yet, and I haven't. I saw the women's tag titles. I've heard everything. I got the gist on everything, but I've only seen a handful of matches at this point.
Yeah, pretty much everything was the same. The only thing kind of that I wanted to touch upon was the. So Orton is a murderer, and we're bringing back killing in the WWE.
1997 all over again, baby. Here we go. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun ride.
So
USA,
I don't know if you,
USA said give us more ratings, and WWF said fine. We're going to start killing motherfuckers.
yeah, I was gonna ask you, did you hear about this thing where USA's I think giving them the green light to do more PG-13,
PG-13, yeah. They're
PG-14?
saying like if you want to do, show some asses and thongs, show some blood, obviously the chair shots that we saw, we won't see today, but I'm guessing chairs will be brought back into matches more often. But yeah, I guess because it started off with them saying like the rumor mill was USA wanted more sex and violence, but then they came out and said we're not telling them we want it, but we're telling them if they do it, we'll look the other way, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, greenlit the perfect term.
Yeah, and it seems like they're gonna go ahead and lean more towards that way. Yesterday, Randy Orton burned the Fiend alive, so that's the most extreme we've actually seen a Inferno match. I've never seen an Inferno match where the guy's lit on fire. I know it was a dummy, but it's more the visual that
But before it was, you could tell like Kane and Undertaker in the first one. Kane, you could tell that arm was super padded. In matches with MVP, trying to think of there's been 4 or 5 Inferno matches, but there was always padding that you could tell. This time the Fiend he had like the legit fire on him, and then thanks in part to the whole COVID pre-filming matches that we were able to get the cinematic story that people were saying they were tired of. Well, now we kind of got a nice little wrap up to 2020 pay-per-view wise for WWE.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of interested, and it definitely it opens up interest. I'm gonna check out Raw tomorrow. Um, or maybe I'll catch like an hour of it before I go to sleep today. But I'm definitely interested to see how they ramp it up, what they're gonna do. I don't know if SmackDown's gonna have the same leeway that USA is going to give these
Yeah,
guys
because they're
because
Fox, right?
yeah, USA is definitely on cable, so that's one thing that they can get away with. And I think
Yeah.
Is AEW PG-13. I think
I would say they're PG-13 because they have blood on their shows
I think when they first
often than
started off
not.
too, they had it. I haven't really paid
And
attention.
I hate to say language, but I would say like their language is more colorful than what we've had in recent years with WWE.
Oh, you mean when they call each other a bitch or something like that, where they fucking stop
Yeah,
and
like
emphasize
well,
it?
yeah, like on Fox you can't. Well, I guess on Fox you probably could get away with it, but they don't. But
Hmm.
WWE kind of got away with that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, I think that I think it's fair to say that AEW is definitely PG-13. It's probably why USA Today wants them, or US Today USA wants them to take that leap.
Hmm. I'm a little confused though. Did Randy Orton win?
Yeah, because he did set him on fire on the outside before he went into the ring,
Hmm.
and that's all you got to do, right? Just whoever catches fire
I guess, yeah.
loses. It was
Uh,
the mandible claw that got reversed into the fire. That's what ended the match, and then they kind of kept going, and then the RKO, which just destroyed the Fiend, which I don't. That kind of whatever. I get it, but um, that was just kind of like the nail in the coffin, if you would, I guess.
hmm. Yeah. Well, we'll see where it goes from there. I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention. That was the last pay-per-view for.
And just to think, it's weird that a year ago right now, the Fiend was champion.
Mm.
Now he's in that time frame. He's lost to Goldberg,
Well,
lost to Orton,
once they bring
lost.
Goldberg back, champions better watch out. You know what that means.
Well, that's what they're saying with Roman Reigns, but I think that they're bringing Reigns. I think they're going to kind of tie in the WrestleMania storyline a little bit with how Reigns stepped away for COVID
Hmm.
because he was supposed to beat him for the title, obviously. Um, but I think that they're going to bring him back to, oh, you left, we didn't get to have our match, blah blah blah, and then Reigns will just run right through Goldberg.
Yeah. A funny spot I want to touch on. Michael Cole. I think it was when Kevin Owens was power bombed through a ladder. Michael Cole was like, "Sidewalk slam through the table." And I was like, "Wait a minute. There was no sidewalk slam, and there
I
was
gotta go
no
check that
table."
back. That's awesome. I gotta go check
Oh
that
no,
out.
and I don't know how you didn't hear it. He doubled down on it on the replay. Through the table. And I'm like, "There's no table. It's a ladder." It was.
It's so like ingrained in his brain to say that.
Mm-hmm. It was clearly a power bomb, clearly a ladder, but in Michael Cole's mind, everything's a table.
No, he had Bailey on the, or not Bailey. He had Sasha on the brain, right? Like always,
Yeah. Yeah.
boss time.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ryan. This one might be a shorter one because WCW was only around for
Well, I think we
so
figured
long.
out that his WCW run was just as long as his WWF run.
Yeah.
But the WCW was a lot more um, backseat,
Yeah.
if you would. Like once he joined the NWO, he was in matches, but he wasn't in storylines as much until the DDP story.
Mm-hmm. All right. So he came to terms with the WWF, and he makes his debut to WCW December 3rd, 1994, at Saturday Night. Kind of just stating he didn't have a match or anything. He just stated that he wanted to go for the WCW Championship, and he touched on his rocky past with him and Hogan. So
And I want to say I like that old Saturday night set that they had.
hmm.
It was fun. That took me straight back. Watching that set reminded me of like just everything 90s, like kids game shows, kids everything like that. Opening like that little entrance and everything was pure 90s. I loved every minute of watching this that intro.
Hmm. So, in pure WCW form, they brought in Hogan and they continued the Hogan storyline. So they brought in eventually when they brought in Savage, they're like, why not just continue the Macho Man Hogan thing? And we're gonna see that kind of roll out as the beginning of Macho Man's career. Hogan's already there, so let's work him into it a little bit. We'll eventually see the Mega Powers too.
Which is absolutely amazing that they do that, eh?
The Dungeon of Doom is all his all his foes, all the big
It's
guys that he
yeah,
faces.
you're literally seeing at one point in WCW, you see late 80s Mega Powers, if you I go not even late, just the Mega Powers versus late 80s, early 90s Hogan villains.
Hmm.
Like just that's it's absolutely amazing that we got that.
And it's crazy to see that there was so much selling power for Hogan. Well, and Macho Man, of course, because he's part of this too. But people were not done with Macho and Hogan's contrary
Nope.
belief. It's just the creative in WWF was done with them. They didn't know what else to do with these guys in
And that's it.
WCW.
And it's funny because they don't want to keep rehashing old stories over and over and over and over again, but it's eventually what they kind of do in the late 90s into the early 2000s and into the late 2000s early 2010s with with McMahon Austin with the Authority with CM Punk and McMahon like they just kind of like plug in different characters, sure, but they definitely keep the same storylines going.
Oh, history always repeats itself. It's just people want to say that their idea is new and fresh and they came up with it.
But that's
Nah.
it, right? Like when Punk was going off against McMahon, it was new. Like no, it wasn't. It's been done.
Yeah, it
When
was
the
Austin
authorities
and
trying to
yeah.
when the authorities trying to bury Daniel Bryan, oh, it's brand new. Like no, it's not. Like this
Yeah.
is like, but yeah, like it sucks that we don't that. Well,
And what to me, what's crazy is the whole Hogan or not Hogan, the whole Steve Austin McMahon thing. You kind of had it first with Bischoff and the NWO, but you need to go check the
yeah,
time. You need to go check the timeline in order for you or for me to put that back into like put that puzzle into fucking
100%.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, and it's funny because you think like if Macho Man sticks around, he left like mid. Well, I guess we can say like mid '93. He kind of left because he started like the commentary, so he left in ring action in '93 due to the commentary role, and you just think like, what if he could have stuck around and had some because he had a couple matches with Brett and Shawn. Imagine him going into like '95 against Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, and then even Razor Ramon and Diesel, Jeff Jarrett. Like he could have had some pretty solid matches into the mid '90s if he'd stuck around. Like if they could have figured something out to do with him.
Yeah. So um, there's kind of two different stories going around at this time, like back to '93. Where and it might be somewhere in the middle. I think Macho Man kind of was a little bit done with it and wanted to step back and be a commentator. And I think eventually the hunger came back right away. And I think,
Like it always
yeah,
does.
and I think McMahon, when Macho came up to him and was like, hey, I want to do this, I think McMahon was 100% with it because he didn't want to lose Macho Man. And he could guarantee him a spot as commentator and he would always have his Macho Man there. So when Macho Man wanted to come back, I don't think I think I think McMahon had already moved on and he had his new stars and he already had his plans set for where he wanted to go for the next year and onward. And
Yeah.
Macho Man wasn't necessarily at the top position of that, and Macho Man wasn't gonna be fine being not at the top position or involved somewhat in
Well, and that's
there.
the thing. Like by this point in time, like you have your Brett angle is pretty high, your Yokozuna angle is pretty high. Um, Sean's and things, Diesel and Razor and things. where like you can fit him in for sure, but as we saw at WrestleMania 10, you're gonna have to kind of like plug him into matches against Crush, middle of the card, and it's like he's not going to want to go for that. You know what I mean? Like he eventually is going to want that upper echelon matches against Owen and Brett and like the guys that I've mentioned before. And if Vince is going to put him in those, what else are you going to do with them?
Mm-hmm.
Put him like,
Yeah, and I like because Bruce Pritchard says, look, he told me himself he wanted to step back and he was done with wrestling, and he wanted to take it easy and still have some matches, but just he didn't want to put his body through it anymore. So we're gonna put him through that commentating thing, and then one day, uh, Vince gets in the limo and tells us that Macho Man is the proud property of WCW,
yep.
and he's wrestling in WCW. And I think it was more of a change of heart on Macho Man's end, or I don't know. But I think there was like a drunk call from Macho Man to Vince, super sad because he didn't want to leave. He loved the WWF, and the WWF loved him.
Well, that's it, right? Like, yeah, there was definitely like he would have stayed forever and vice versa. But what he wanted, Vince didn't want to give him. And then suddenly you get this other company that comes up and says, like, hey, we will give you this. It's almost like what you see with Dean Ambrose.
Yeah,
He wanted something. Vince didn't want to give it to him. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of other moving pieces. But now that AEW is there, I'm just gonna run my contract out in peace.
The only good thing for Ambrose is he's still young. He still has a lot more years than Macho Man. Macho Man was still able to squeeze out a lot more of his career.
Yeah, he still figured out another. What he went there, like say mid '94,
Hmm
end of '94 to like up until 2001 when the company went down. So 6, 7 years he was still there for.
Yeah. December 27th, 1994, in Starcade, Savage saves Hulk Hogan from the Three Faces of Fear. So that would be the Butcher, which is the Booty Man, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Sullivan, and
Brutus
Avalanche.
the fucking barber.
He saves him from those three guys, or which will later be the Dungeon of Doom.
Yep,
Faces of Fear here.
which is
Uh,
awesome. It's just like Hogan, Hogan, Hogan all over that.
and then so he saves Hogan, and we get the
Oh,
formation of the Mega Powers. That's not. I don't think that's not the original where they're looking at each other's hands. I think that was in WWF, but we got
that
the.
was yeah, that was definitely like a Saturday Night's Main Event. I think
Mhm.
when back in the late '80s when they formed that, but
Yeah,
that they brought it back.
yeah. They brought it.
You
They
gotta,
had
you
to,
gotta
dude. It's money.
held that hand right.
Yeah, you'd be leaving money on the table if you didn't.
100%.
Uh, as corny as it is, you had to do it, and as much as people were going to call you on it, you had to bring back the Mega Powers. So they shake hands, bring back the Mega Powers, and at Super Brawl 5, they team with Sting. Um, oh no, at Super Brawl 5, he teams with Sting because he saved Hogan from the Three Faces of
Up
Fear.
here.
Yeah, so it's Avalanche and who else was it? Big Bubba Rogers, right? So that's my first match.
Uh, yeah, the tag team match. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So my first match will bleed into. It's not his first match, but it's one of his first matches in the WCW where
Yeah.
it forms a tag team match, or he forms a tag team match with Sting because Sting was feuding with Big Bubba Rogers at the time. Here, let me find my notes. Doomsday Cage, Super Brawl, Savage and Steve. Take them out of order. Yeah, I did. Or did we skip yours?
Um,
I think I might have taken them out of order. No, yours
I'm
is
not.
in
I'm not.
May. Mine's in
I,
February. Mine's first, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yours is like a month or two after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sting starts off versus Avalanche, and Avalanche is clearly using his size and power to demonstrate how much bigger he is than these guys. Um, let's see. Sting's using his drop kicks. He's trying to attack the big man, but the big man's no selling. He won't go down. Uh, so then Avalanche gets Sting. They tag in Big Bubba Rogers, and when they're able to get the advantages, Big Bubba Rogers goes to the top ropes for some reason. When you're a big guy going to the top ropes
I
versus
always love when they do that. Like, unless you're Bam Bam Bigelow, you know that when the big guy goes to the top rope, it's not going to end well, right?
yeah, so Macho goes to push his leg off the turnbuckle. Big Bubba Rogers hits his nuts, and superplex by Sting. So we're able a nice superplex on the big man from the top rope, and he tags Macho Man in. Macho Man hits the double axe handle when Bubba Rogers is on the outside. Yeah, he hits him with a double axe handle. The patented Macho Man. Ooh
I
yeah, on
love that
top
double
rope.
axe handle.
Yeah. Those were super devastating at the time. That was one of Macho Man's setup moves. If you go back and you watch a lot of his matches.
Yeah. My favorite was like because he would do it from the to the outside, from the apron, or from the top rope to the outside. Like he could do it anywhere.
hmm Macho Man's distracted by Flair yelling shit from the outside. So Flair's retired at this time. So uh, Macho Man wants at Flair. They feuded in WWF. I don't even. Was it right before he left?
Mm,
No, it was.
yeah, because he wins the title at WrestleMania, and then by the Survivor Series in '92, it's Mr. Perfect and Macho against Scott Razor Ramon and Ric Flair, and then Flair's gone right around Survivor Series back to WCW.
Okay. Yeah, so he's in the crowd. He's retired at the time. Macho Man takes back the offense against Big Bubba Rogers, and while he's in the corner, that's when Avalanche tags in, and they take over again. So it's a lot of the heels just getting the advantage over these guys. You get a little bit of offense by Macho Man, like I mentioned, his double axe handles and stuff like that.
It's the old school way, like the big nasty heels, right? Just having their way.
hmm
They'll take a bump, but then they're gonna get right back at it.
Yeah, Avalanche again using his size. That kind of was his thing. If you go back, he was a good wrestler, but he had his set stuff. He was gonna use his size. He was gonna no sell for you, knock you down to the ground, and eventually you had to tear him down by taking his legs. And eventually that's what starts happening. Um, Sting tries to lock in the Scorpion Deathlock on Avalanche, but I don't think the ref's looking because Macho Man is in the ring. He's trying to pin Big Bubba Rogers
Big
after he
Bubba.
hit him with a elbow drop, but he's not the legal man. So the ref is distracted by that. Sting gets up. He's like, "Hey, what the hell's going on?" He's trying to explain to Macho Man, "You're not the legal man." Sting goes to the corner, and there's a little bit of a fuck up here. So Tenta Avalanche isn't paying attention,
Yep.
and Sting wobbles on the top rope because he was gonna jump, but he doesn't, and he does. He eventually does, and Tenta still turned around. So instead of taking, I think, which was going to be a crossbody, turns into a clothesline, trip up with the big boss man on the floor, Big Bubba Rogers, sorry. And Sting gets to 1, 2, 3. I think there was a little bit of a fuck up there.
Pronouns, pal.
Yeah, pronouns, pal. I think there was a little bit of a fuck up there. If you're wrestling fans, you guys
It
know what I'm
did. It
talking
did.
about.
Yeah. It was like it seemed like they made it look good, but I mean, I guess to the untrained eye, it looked good. But if you know what you're looking for, it definitely looked a little shaky at best.
hmm
Something was amiss.
Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. You could see it in Sting, and you could see it in Tenta. You could say if one or the other didn't happen, I don't think I would have caught it. But since both of them happened, Sting wobbled on the top rope and hesitated, and Tenta looking away the whole time. I think Sting was waiting for him. Like, dude, come on, come on, come on, come on. Tenta never turned. Avalanche never turned. So Sting had to jump. He had no.
He had to go somewhere.
Yeah, he was either gonna do that or fall. I don't think he could have regained his balance forward. Yeah, so they get the win. And this will lead to an uncensored match against Avalanche with Flair attacking from the crowd. I think he's dressed as or he's dressed in drag, and
Oh, yeah, the flare and drag part. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
he jumps from the crowd and he attacks Angelo Poffo, which is Macho Man's father, and this will lead to a feud. I think it leads into the U.S. title match, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So he attacks him at Uncensored when he's dressed in drag. This leads to Savage versus Flair feud, which I think their first one ends with Flair and Savage at on Father's Day. They have a match, and I think it's a Saturday night. And Flair uses Savage's dad's cane on him to win. So Savage picks up the victory on Macho Man by using his cane, which will further advance their feud into the United States tournament championship match. Macho Man defeats Brutus the Barber Beefcake or the Butcher at this time. And then Steve Austin,
Or
which is your match
Zodiac
now.
or
Yeah.
like fucking yeah. And I had to pick a couple of these matches just because knowing that they weren't necessarily all time classics, it was the chance to get to see like part of my match. Like my match selection was Macho Man against like some legends of the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, this was
It was a short but sweet.
yeah.
Told a story that it had to tell. I guess I think it was maybe 4 minutes, if that.
Yeah, it was like a 5 minute match.
It was a Saturday night WCW, right? So I think that program was about an hour long. So when you're trying to get maximum amount of matches with intros and interviews, like you're not going to have 5-star classics on WCW Saturday night.
What's awesome to see is Austin learning how to sell. And not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily you see the development in this whole match, but if you've seen Austin matches and you see this match, it's a total different sell by Austin. It's not the badass Stone Cold Steve Austin selling.
Yeah,
This is a more snivy, conniving heel. He
he was
still wrestles very
very
well.
very pretty boy still.
Yes,
Like he
yes.
had that Hollywood blondes, the
Hmm.
flowing locks. Like he's kind of got the good looks, but he's the bad guy. Like the
There's more of an overreaction than the Austin days. A lot more
yeah.
yelling, a lot more facial expressions, a lot more like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
jumping.
yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing out that it's awesome to see the evolution of these guys and how they learn and who they learn from. I'm not saying he took from Macho Man, but I'm pretty sure he did. And because Macho Man is Macho Man at this point.
Because I was gonna say, I don't think we really see Stone Cold in WWF sell that way unless he was the ringmaster or early in his Stone Cold run,
Hmm.
or when he turned heel and joined Vince McMahon was when you see the overselling. Um, but other than that, no. Like, the way that he was in this match was leaps and bounds different from like that late '97 to 1999
Hmm.
run that he had.
And there's a little bit of Austin in the offense, like in the kicks in the corner. There's a little bit of that. There's more high flying. Austin takes a belly flop, which will lead to his demise. I know it's a quick match.
Yeah,
They exchange in the beginning. They exchange a little bit. Macho Man gets his in, and then Austin gets his in, and then when he goes for the top rope, which I'm guessing was the Benoit headbutt because he belly
yeah.
flops. Macho Man moves, throws Austin to the outside, two ring post shots, a guardrail, throws him
That
to
ring
the
push up.
inside.
Right, I forgot that WCW had those.
Metal ones.
Well, they were like triangular. Like it was like something built off the turnbuckle post. Like
Hmm.
how they're traditionally round. WCW there for a while had like something like a little piece of metal that was like triangular off of them that usually they would put sponsors on, like in a boxing match.
You mean
I think they put,
like Slim Jims?
I was gonna say I think they put Slim Jim on there a
Yeah.
bunch of times, but I forgot that WCW had those back in the day.
Top three favorite snacks, Ryan. Now speaking of Slim Jim,
Mm.
it definitely
Oh,
wasn't Slim Jim. They're not that great.
they're not that good.
Mm-mm.
I like a good May West.
What is that? Is that like a Canadian thing?
Yeah, it's a Montreal thing. It's you know the Joe Louis. You got those in the States?
No,
You guys don't have Joe Louis?
I don't think so.
No. So it's like the May West. It's a custard inside of a white cake, and then it's covered in chocolate. It's fucking delicious.
May West.
Mae West.
Is it a person?
No, don't. There's an actress named Mae
Yeah, there
West.
was. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
she does look tasty, but
I don't think it's May. I thought it was Mae. Maybe it's May.
she's MAE as well.
Then maybe it's May.
I have to put Candy. That has a chick on. Oh, okay, I see what it is.
Yeah, yeah, you got it.
Okay, yeah, it
Okay,
has
so
a
it isn't
chick on the cover.
May.
On the cover too, on the box.
Yeah,
Chick's pretty hot.
little pinup girl.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is
Little
May.
bit.
I was wrong.
Yeah,
But
they're
yeah, I
like
love
little vanilla cakes covered in chocolate, and then the inside is like a
little
custard.
like a
Yeah, I see.
custard. Yeah, it's fucking
Kind of
delicious,
exactly what you
man.
said. Yeah.
Yeah, love those.
I have generic snacks that I would like. Just the American shit, I guess, that
Yeah,
everyone knows about.
can't
Like,
go wrong with a Slim Jim though, right? They still got them though, man. You go to 7-Eleven at the cash, they have Hot Rod. They got Slim Jim.
yeah, they always. You know what was awesome? They were bringing around the Macho Man not too long ago. I wanted to ask them for the
Oh, really?
cutout, but I didn't. I just didn't get the nerve to.
That'd be hilarious if one day we go to record and like
There's a
you
cutout
turn
of
on
the
this
back.
Macho Man in the background.
Oh, do you know how badass that would be?
That'd be fucking amazing.
Oh, tomorrow I should get my 2-pack. Oh yeah, the Hardy Boys.
Oh, nice.
Didn't sound anything like it, but you get the point. Where were we? Oh yeah, the Steve Austin match. Yeah, so he hits the belly flop. This gives Macho Man the opportunity to throw him outside, slam him against the Slim Jim.
Ring post.
They mention it too. He's snapping him into it. I forgot who
Yeah.
mentions it. They bring it up. And then he tosses him in, body slams him, and hits the elbow drop. And we get the 1-2-3 for the Macho Man. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice, yeah, nice and easy, quick advancement into the tournament there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You might sell out later, Austin, but not now. Yeah. You're just stunning, not stone cold. Yeah. 1-2-3 on Austin. Let's see what's next. Sorry, let me check my notes. Should have ripped out the pages so I'm not going back and forth like that. Can we talk about this Doomsday Cage match already?
Oh fuck! Oh man, no man.
I've never,
You know,
I've never seen it. So,
I think it was 83 weeks covered it,
I
and
owe you like 25 minutes of life back, Ryan.
I forgot about this match. I've heard about it. I don't think I've ever seen it. I remember Eric Bischoff talking about. I want to say Eric Bischoff. I don't think anywhere else. Maybe Tony Schiavone on his podcast. I forget now though. But I remember hearing about it, and when I'm watching it, man, like I got flashbacks to like that the fucking David Arquette cage and Vince Russo winning the title in that triple tiered cage. Like it was food.
So we'll get into it because there's different types of. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We're definitely gonna talk about it, but we'll see what I'm trying to get at right now. So Savage defeats Austin and moves on and gets to face Flair. No, Flair's facing Alex Wright later on that night. Savage interferes in the Flair match. Flair moves on, and I think the next time they're gonna face each other to advance, they're brawling in the back, or they're just brawling and they both get disqualified.
Yeah.
Which leads to Sting versus Ming, which finally, if you go back and you watch this fucking podcast, you're going to go back and you're going to see the times I covered that pay-per-view that Sting wins the United States Championship match on. And I have no idea why it never gets resolved. We have no idea, like, we never know why it got resolved or, like, why Ming and Sting just kind of move on from their qualifying match from instead of having to qualify. They just get a
Yeah.
title match, and it's because Macho Man and Flair get eliminated, which will lead to their match on that same pay per view, which is a non-title match. It's just them at it. I don't know who wins. We didn't cover it. I
It
just
all
know.
gets figured out, right?
Yeah, they feud for a while. They trade back and forth.
Oh, and they go deep too because they end up like Flair and Macho. They're going to intertwine like for a number of years.
Hmm. They'll take breaks, like the DDP and Macho Man will go at it for a while, and then
Yep.
Savage comes back into the picture. Um, yeah. So Flair defeats Savage with Dad's Cane, which then leads to a fucking lifeguard match at Bash at the
At
Beach,
Bash at the Beach, yeah.
1995.
Which is just, I get the gimmick.
Oh, it was
Just call it fucking,
sorry,
just
lumberjack, a lifeguard lumberjack match.
yeah, like just fuck, just call it a lumberjack match. Don't call it a lifeguard. Like I get why, but come on, man.
I
Like
got to brand it, bro. Bash at the Beach, lifeguards, swim.
fuck. It would have been better if the ring was like in the middle of the ocean and like
Yeah,
there were
sharks.
like lifeguards were just like waiting in the water, waiting for someone to fly in, chuck him back in.
Well, they
That would
had
make
something recently at Ellis Mania similar. I listened to the Real Ass podcast, Luis J
okay.
Gomez, and he had his producer fight a different producer, but they were fighting on a floating platform.
Oh fuck, that would have been
Yeah, and they're on water.
that's awesome.
Let's make it
That'd be
happen.
fucking
Wrestling matches
that's
on
asking
water.
for injuries.
Yeah, we should do that though. Like wrestling on just have water gimmicks all day. It'll
Frankie, I
work.
challenge you. I'm coming for your title. right on
Lifeguard
Lake,
lumberjack matches all
right on
day.
Lake Michigan.
Yeah, we are by the lake. That was Bash at the Beach 1995, which will lead to War Games. Fall Brawl September 17th, 1995. This War Games match is Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Lex Luger, and Sting taking on the Dungeon of Doom, Kamala, the Zodiac. Yes, no.
Yeah.
The Shark
Oh,
and
question. Oh
Mane.
God, how many bad gimmicks can you give John Tenta?
The
God
Shark, bro.
Almighty, you're overweight, so we're gonna call you Earthquake. Hey, welcome to OCW. We can't call you Earthquake, so we're gonna call you Avalanche.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna paint a fucking worst paint job ever and call you Shark. Oh my God, this poor man. How he got a career? I like
Oh,
God.
be the shark, doo 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 doo
Yeah.
doo.
You think he was his son was Shark Boy?
The one that's out right now, right? Or he's in TN. He was in TNA.
He was in TNA
I think
back in
he's
the
still
day.
wrestling
Yeah.
on the Indies. I forgot who brought him up.
Oh, really?
Conrad brought him up or something. I don't know if it was they were just joking around, but he was recently brought up in a podcast about wrestling for like $100 or some bullshit.
Jesus Christ. I'll never forget watching TNA and he comes in like, what the fuck is this? Like
It only makes sense that he's the Shark's
the
son.
Shark's offspring, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean
But hey,
oh God almighty. The gimmicks
fucking Mae
that we
Young
put up
gave
with.
birth to a hand, bro. Anything can happen.
The gimmicks that we put up with as fans. And I don't know what it says about us as we tune in the next week thinking that, hey, maybe he won't be there. At least Mae Young's hand went the way.
Yeah. Well, I don't think. No, we didn't cover this one either. But they win. I don't know how.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've. I don't know if we've done that pay per view.
I don't know if we have.
Which this is going to lead to World War III. So there is a vacant championship here at World War III, and the title is vacant because the Giant and the Yeti butt fucked Hogan. They fucked him and
We
they
definitely
docked
talked
with
about
him.
that one.
Yeah, they docked with him, or Giant docked with him, and Mummy butt fucked him. And due to
Fuck.
I don't. Okay, so this is how they fixed it or tried to fix it. Uh, Jimmy Hart said that he right before he betrayed Hogan at that Halloween Havoc, But he said that he put it in the clause that if Hogan was disqualified, he still lost the title.
Right. Yeah, they had to do a quick fix because I don't know if it was the announcers or if it was the Michael Buffer or whoever, but someone made the mistake of saying that he's the champion because he picked up the belt.
Mm-hmm.
And WCW had to do the quick fix of like, shit, like now what do we do?
Yeah, so it was a bunch of just crap, and
Now remember, Hulk Hogan left WWF for that. This is pre NWO, so we don't
mhm.
know what's coming. But at this point in time, all we know is that Hulk Hogan left Vince McMahon to get butt fucked by the Yeti.
Yeah, the NWO still like they don't know they're
Right now, people are thinking like, "What the fuck did Hogan leave for?" Like,
mhm.
what is like?
Yeah. So they strip the Giant of the title because they realize how ridiculous that shit was. And
Yeah,
it just makes more sense to strip the Giant of the title because he butt fucked or he had Hogan butt fucked to lose. So it's
you're a
confusing.
winner.
It's a whole
You're a,
thing.
win- you're a winner by butt fucking
Yeah.
the
Of a
giant.
mummy. Like what?
It wasn't even a Yeti. Yeah, like I think you talked about the that John Gonzalez was supposed to be him
Mm-hmm.
originally, and you had laid out that costume idea of being like John Gonzalez but white.
Yeah, it makes sense to
And I
me.
think that would have actually been fantastic instead of getting a mummy.
Yeah, and I forgot like at this time I think he started having complications
Yeah,
and I think he wasn't able to make it so they had to throw in I forgot who it was.
it was Reese from Raven's Flock.
Mm, okay.
He ends up becoming the Yeti.
Yeah. And
So he
and
went
Yeti's
from
white, so it wouldn't make sense if you brought in Giant Gonzalez just all white and give him fucking white hair and make him a Yeti.
yeah, why not?
He was already the fucking Giant Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Uh,
Instead, you get some random guy before he ends up becoming another random character.
yeah.
I mean, I liked him in Raven's Flock and all, but I mean, he wasn't like, he wasn't someone that you would stop what you're doing to watch on TV, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so this would lead to World War III, the first ever World War III. Savage wins by taking out one man gang. So um the last three are Hogan, Macho Man, and one man gang, but the Giant pulls out Hogan from under the ropes. The referees don't see it because they're intertwined with Macho Man and one man gang. One man gang is eliminated by Macho Man. The referees see that Hogan is outside, so they assume that he got thrown over the top ropes.
Yeah.
And Macho Man is your new WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
And I think he's one of only, God, there can't be a lot of guys that held the WWF and WCW heavyweight titles. Because you got Hogan, Big Show, Macho Man, Kevin Nash, Bret Hart. Like under like, and I mean like winning one in one company, then winning in the other company. Ric
Mm-hmm.
Flair, there wasn't a whole lot. Like some guys have had the big gold belt, but they won it under the WWF banner.
Yeah.
And other guys had
Like,
long WWF careers, like Booker T, but he never was a WWF champion. He was always the world heavyweight.
like Jericho never was WCW champion in WCW,
Yeah,
so he never got that honor either.
yeah. There's only a handful of guys I think in that time frame that can say that they've were in WCW or WWF and then went to the other company and became their champion also.
The DDP didn't get to do it.
Nope. I think Flair, Hogan, Macho, Nash,
Giant.
Brett, Giant. There's six. I don't know if there's maybe eight total. Maybe there's got to be a name or two that I'm forgetting, but there's not a lot.
Mm-mm.
Like Triple H had the big gold, but in WWF, right?
Yeah. And then like they totally fucked it up by saying, "Oh, this is a whole new lineage. Forget about all the lineage. We're just reintroducing it, and it's new."
When they, yeah, in like 2002, it was a whole new title,
Mm,
or maybe 2003, whatever year it was.
yeah, just a brand new title. It's
Yeah.
like, but it looks exactly like the big gold. But it's new.
No, no, no. You see, they had off-white gems. We have pearl white gems.
Hmm.
It's
Like our pearls are
fucking,
different on it, but the belt's completely the same. The pearls are different.
yeah. Oh, fucking Vince. I love him so much. He's such an asshole.
He had to make it his. And that's one of the best belts of all time.
100% it is. Yeah, it's up there. That with that winged eagle,
Hmm.
those are two belts that are hard to put anything above those two.
And then the Attitude Era is just kind of a variation of the Winged Eagle. They kind of just filled it out, rounded it out more a little bit.
Yeah. Ooh, and then there's the spinner.
Uh, Dude, that
Oh
WWE one was so
god.
much better. The one that Eddie held, the one that was fused
The
together from the WCW and the WWF one.
the undisputed champion.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
that
was a
was a
beautiful
great belt.
championship, and
That one,
apparently
yeah,
they didn't
that one
like it.
there, they brought it because that was the one that they did. And Triple H didn't even get to hold that belt because that was the undisputed was
Yeah, he did. He
Jericho.
beat
Jericho did
Hogan
he,
for it,
did,
didn't he?
no, Hogan beat him.
Okay, then yeah, he had it because Hogan
But did
held that
he?
one.
Did Hogan have the? Because I
Yeah,
always remember Triple H holding the two titles at WrestleMania.
he did. Yeah, he did do that though.
So he was. So Triple H might be the one that started the undisputed title.
I think that's what it was. I think that's what it
Was
is.
it?
I think that's what it
Yeah.
is.
So then, and yeah, because I think that thing ended when with Lesnar to Eddie, and then Eddie to JBL, and then John Cena introduced the spinner after
That
he wins at 21, right?
Yeah, that belt has a way too short of a lifespan. The
God,
undisputed belt for being such an
so
awesome belt.
because yeah, so it went from like 2002,
Well, like 3 years max,
yeah, like
2 years.
2002 to 2005, yeah. Because
I
John Cena introduced the spinner shortly after winning it at WrestleMania in 2005.
If I'm not mistaken, just from the little bit I've seen in and it's not even like the belts. It's like this is just like replicas and shit, like actual replicas that are good. That one is really hard to get. A lot of people seek that one and they hold that one dear to their collection. And like I see them talk about a lot more. You don't see
Really?
that one for sale a lot.
Huh.
It's a nice belt, and it wasn't around for
Yeah.
a long time, so I can see why.
Which is funny because you think that people would be saying, like, if there was a demand, you think that like manufacturers of stuff like that would just be like pumping it out as best as they can to get it to people.
Hmm.
But I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, it's a nice belt. I wouldn't mind getting one of
So
those in my
yeah,
collection eventually. There's a couple of belts I wouldn't mind. Original Intercontinental belt, like
yeah.
well, not the original. I mean
The
like
one from like the late 80s, early 90s, like
yeah,
Brett and Mr.
yeah.
Perfect and all those guys held.
That one. I already have the big gold, but I would like a Winged Eagle Attitude Era. Undisputed is up there. I wouldn't mind getting either one of those three. Winged Eagle, Attitude Era, Undisputed, any order. I wouldn't mind buying one
Yeah.
of those. I need to make more money that way. I could just hit people up on here and be like, hey,
Hey,
whoever's got one.
you got that stimulus check coming, eh?
Oh yeah, they're giving us like, but it's like six. I shouldn't
600
complain.
bucks.
$600.
No, yeah, well, that's it, right?
Yeah.
To the people that are out of work complaining, I can understand, but I like the people that are working be like, I'm only getting this. I'm like, motherfucker, you have a job. Shut up.
I have to remember to be grateful about it because it's not nothing, which was what it was, and it's actually
Exactly.
$600. And I do need I need the new Xbox, so
I was gonna say, like, you do need a new title.
I do need the undisputed.
You do need that title.
No, the Xbox kind of it makes more sense. I play the Xbox, and the upgrade is needed, or
Yeah.
parts for the computer, either or. All right, let's move on from that title. Yeah. So Savage, where are we at? World War Two, three.
Savage won the title at World War III. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, Giant pulls out Hogan, and Hogan's complaining at the end, always taking away from Macho Man's moment. And one of the ones he was in he
Man,
started
everyone's moment,
celebrating in the
man.
ring with Macho. Get the fuck out of here, you
WrestleMania
jackass!
6 with the Ultimate Warrior, right? He had to be the one that gave
He
the Warrior the title. Like
Yeah, he took it from the ref and he went and gave it to him. He's like, here you go.
yeah, it's always about
He's
WrestleMania 4. He had to give the belt to Macho, right?
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, I'm Hulk Hogan. I'm better than this guy. He beat me, but just so you guys know, this is my shit. This is my belt, and he's holding it
Yeah,
for now. That's
yeah.
exactly what he was saying. Like, he's an asshole in those
He's an
terms.
asshole. And the thing is that people, they all slurp it up nonstop. They're like, "Yep, give us more, Hogan, please." They love it, and Hogan's just sitting there, just giving it out.
But it's hard not to be like, what the hell, Hogan? Come on, let him just. You leave. You fucking just get pinned and leave the ring like they do.
Yep.
I forgot which one. Macho Man, when he was Macho King and he lost, he just leaves. He just leaves. They're pissed. He just fucking leaves. He doesn't attack afterwards, which he's a heel, which is what they would do,
Yep.
because they're heels. But no, fucking Hogan's like, nope, give me the belt. I'm handing it to him, and I'm gonna stand here and celebrate like I won,
Yep.
passing him the torch. Psych, brother, give it back.
And even when Macho was on top of the world in WWF in '88, Hogan, hey, how about we form a tag team? You're the champion, but instead of main eventing against $1 Million Man at SummerSlam, tag team match.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck, Hogan? Fuck, man. And then we'll steer it into I don't know, a singles match, me versus you, where I beat you for the title. Fucking guy. Oh god, the swing that he had, man. Or was it the Jarrett? The stroke.
Stroke,
The
baby,
stroke
stroke.
that he had. Fucking asshole.
So he won it at World War III, and then I think this is my match, right? Super Brawl versus Ric
Yeah,
Flair in a
Super
cage
Bowl
match.
versus yeah.
Yeah. So he's feuding. The feud continues with Flair after he wins the championship, and at Starrcade. No, sorry.
Isn't a point out? It's kind of funny that Flair won the title at a Royal Rumble, and then fought and then defended against Macho, and then Macho wins it in a Royal Rumble style match, and then defends against Flair.
Yeah, well, we're gonna see a lot of that in these upcoming months. So yeah, so Starrcade '95. Actually, I'm skipping ahead. So he wins it at World War III, and he'll face. He's gonna face Flair here in a cage match. Here in what year? What month is this? February 11th, 1996. Oh, actually, I skipped ahead. Yeah, my match is I skip ahead. So '95, it's Starrcade. December 27th, 1995. Flair defeats Savage for the belt. So Flair takes the belt from Savage a month after Savage wins it. And then January 22nd, 1996, on a Nitro,
Yeah,
Savage takes it from Flair.
and that's the one where I think Elizabeth has turned on him at that point now, right?
No, she turns on him here at this cage match.
Was it the cage match?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought she was. I thought she turned on the Nitro.
No,
for some
no, no,
reason.
no.
Okay.
She comes out with
With Woman
with
and Flair.
no,
Or
she
with
comes out with Macho Man here.
Comes out with Macho.
Yeah, they're dressed the same. She's dressed in blue. Macho Man's dressed in blue and like electric blue with yellow, and she comes out with him, and it's your typical cage match. Flair starts off with his dirty tactics, throwing, well, not throwing it because the cage is a legal weapon, but thumbs
Yeah.
to the eyes, the nut shots. You have your typical Flair.
I thought it was weird that Macho got a quick pinfall for a 3 count, but the referee was too busy trying to chain the door shut.
Yeah. Macho Man had he's like, fuck, ref, come on, get in your spot while the ref.
I don't think I've ever seen the ref take that long to chain the door shut ever. Like he was taking a good 3-4 minutes on putting a lock on that chain.
Yeah, I don't think he did it right because it came loose later on, and then he had to put it on again. And
Yeah.
I don't think it was part of the match. They had to wrestle through it and like move on from that spot, which is what Macho Man did. He's like, "Fuck, all right, cool, we'll just move on then." It's back and forth. Flair gets his offense in, and then Macho Man finally catches Flair from the turnbuckle, tosses him, and then he starts tossing Flair over and over again on the cage. And this is where Flair gets opened up in one of those, and we have the typical Flair silver blonde hair with the fucking blood in it.
iconic.
Hmm. We forgot to
That's what
mention.
that's what Hogan could have had.
Yeah, we forgot. We forgot to mention last one of the matches that we were talking about from Survivor Series last week was the one where Flair cuts the promo, and they meme that one where they have that meme where Flair's hair is all crazy and he's all bloodied up. We covered that match, but we forgot to mention that. It's
Yeah,
one of the famous scenes.
I think that's the. Is that the? Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, but
Hmm.
yeah.
We talked about that match last week, but we forgot to mention that shit. Uh, let's see. I have this shit written down. The cage match. I think I went to it. No, but it was your typical cage match with your Flair shit thrown into it.
I will say, like, I haven't seen a lot of WCW cage matches.
Yeah.
Um, so to see, like, I've seen old NWA cage matches and stuff like that. So I've seen like the different variants of a cage.
Hmm.
But it's weird to see for me a mid '90s cage that was so short and be the fence as opposed to like the bars. That like, WWF didn't introduce that fence until 99 2000 maybe.
Hmm.
They tried to stay with like that big blue and then they painted it black for the Attitude Era, but they tried their hardest to not follow suit with WCW for the longest time. But it was weird to see like that style of a cage for me personally. Shorter and more chain link fence style.
Yeah, I'm like, why can't I find the fucking notes? Because it was one of the pages I had ripped out of the note out of the notepad.
Oh,
Stupid me. Yeah. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Savage climbs all the way to the top and goes for his double axe handle. Flair hits him in the stomach. That was a pretty cool spot. He didn't
I
get
love
hurt.
it.
I would have blown out my fucking knees. My knees would
Oh,
have
I
just
thought it
pop.
was every time I ever see someone do a spot like that, like on the off the top of the cage, I'm like, I would have died. Like I
Hmm.
would have lost limbs if I had tried for that. Like
Yeah.
I get these guys are trained professionals, I know, but it's like yeah, like I had the same thought as you. Like for me, my first thought was my knees would just blow out.
Yeah.
There would be no walking for a while for me.
There's proof that my leg would have just gone like
Yeah,
it
that's
already did
true. Yeah.
once. It fucking compound fracture. And it's like, hey, let's never do that again, fatso, or lose a lot of weight and then do it. Hey, yo, fatso. That's what my leg said and
These
broke.
legs aren't meant for jumping.
Yeah, you're not a skateboarder, bro. You're not fucking Tony Hawk. Get off this shit. You're, you're lucky it's not your head slamming off the concrete and it's only your leg.
Yeah, seriously.
Like we could
Oh,
have been easy
fuck.
on you giving your hand, but we're gonna teach you a lesson and give
We're
you your
gonna we're
fucking
gonna make
leg.
you remember this
Hmm.
one.
The hands are
We're
too
gonna
easy. You'll still be able to walk and do a lot of shit. This is gonna be your foot. You're gonna have to do a lot of crutch work. Hey,
every time it gets a little chilly in the air, you're gonna remember what you did today.
hey, and guess what? Halfway through the surgery, we're gonna break it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit sucked, dude. I had to have
Oh
a whole new
fuck, man,
surgery
that's
like 4 or 5
hilarious.
months into healing to re-break. So
It's like,
I never skateboarded again.
I don't mean to laugh, but
Oh,
honestly,
that was years ago.
like no, but like every time you tell me the story, I just think of Homer Simpson, man. Like I just picture Homer on a skateboard, and every time he's on it, like his they pan to him and his legs are like facing opposite directions and shit. Like,
Dude, my leg was pretty. It was pretty gnarly. I wish there was video and cameras around like there are now. There definitely would have been video.
yeah, you could have been YouTube famous, man. You could be retired by now.
Yeah.
You could be Jake Paul calling out Conor McGregor.
Hmm.
I broke my shins. Here's a water balloon, Dylan Dennis.
Hey, I'm only 3 million followers away, so subscribe and you can see me facing Mike Tyson. So, hey, if you help me get to 5 million views or fucking
5
subscribers,
million,
you
yeah.
can see me get knocked out by Mike Tyson too.
And I'll take on Holyfield on the undercard.
You're gonna have to gain a lot of weight, Ryan. Heavyweight.
No, it'll be a catch weight.
It is an exhibition. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
headgear
So
optional.
help us get those numbers up. You'll see us fucking facing these retired boxers in no time.
It's headgear optional for Holyfield because he clearly needs it more than I do.
Yeah. And you're fucked if you think we're calling out fucking MMA guys because jujitsu's a bitch. You can still
Yeah,
get choked out very easily.
I saw what fucking Cowboy did to RDA twice on the weekend. I don't want any piece of that.
Yeah. Jujitsu. If you're really good, jujitsu's levels, my friend.
Oh,
Levels. I bet Hoist can still murder people.
100% he could. Fuck his
Uh,
father. I mean, you could dig his father out of the grave, and his father would probably roll me up in a pretzel.
yeah. After the double axe handle for Macho Man off the top of the cage, and he gets hit, Flair goes for the cover 3 times, can't gets it, gets Macho Man up, starts chopping him, but Macho Man is answering back with a punch. Chop, punch, and they're kind
Yeah.
of just volleying back and forth. But actually, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Before the match, Flair was like, I'm giving you this last chance. Are you gonna? All you have to do is come walk over here, and pretty much he's calling Miss Elizabeth over. That's what he's
Yeah.
been teasing, that he can get Miss Elizabeth. And this is what Ryan mentioned. Miss Elizabeth hands Flair her shoe.
That's okay. That's yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and I remember this because it was through the cage.
Because you know what I was also getting confused with was the match that Flair had with Conan for the United States title, and they did the same shoe spot.
Yeah, there's been multiple shoe spots. So here, I don't know if it was a botched one, and maybe they had so this is what I think might have happened, and it might not have happened. Maybe this is what they wanted to happen, and they just pulled it off. And it's weird. They had women there as well, and so Elizabeth was with Savage. Flair had woman. Woman was gonna throw powder or something in Savage's eyes. I don't know if he jumped down too fast or whatever, or he dropped down too fast and it just went in the air, or they were trying to make it seem like that. But excuse me, but the powder didn't go in Savage's eyes. So then Flair goes for the shoe, and Savage goes for the roll up. Flair kicks out, hits him with the shoe. 1, 2, 3, Flair.
When you mentioned that powder spot, when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, good! It's like fucking Warrior and Hogan all over again."
Yeah. Well, you can see her doing something over there with like a paper and like
Yeah,
powder. I don't know what the hell is
trying
going
to.
on.
Flair's like, "No, that's for after the match." Fuck.
Yeah, right. My nose candy.
I can't do it on camera, bitch. Put it away now.
She panicked and she tried to get Macho Man.
She drops it. And then Macho,
fuck.
oh yeah, Macho Man's eyes open up. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Macho Man.
Oh Christ Almighty, too much fun. No, yeah, I think we actually mentioned it also back in the if it was a pay-per-view, I think we did where Conan loses the United States title to Ric Flair with the shoe spot. And like I remember saying, like I just don't get why getting hit with a woman's shoe knocks you out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah, it's not a loaded glove.
At least if they had like a handbag, you could like say like there's a brick in there. You know what I mean? It's a fucking shoe,
Yeah.
and you can't say there's anything in the shoe because her foot was just in there. So there was clearly nothing else in there except for her foot.
Yeah, definitely wasn't a
Like,
loaded glove.
I don't get it. Like, yeah, kind of a corny ending. And then fucking Arn Anderson coming out looking like everyone's grade 9 gym teacher. like I love Arn Anderson so much, but
yeah, he was wearing like sweatpants and
he was wearing shorts and
jacket.
like and the long sleeve shirt.
Sorry, I was thinking about the Doomsday Cage match.
Yeah, he comes over like shorts and long sleeve shirt and like.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's Mr. Purcell from grade 9 gym. Like, was he got to break with the dodgeballs now? Like,
and he hightails it, and Hogan hits him a couple times with a chair, lightly towards the end.
Hogan gets him with the chair. He falls and just gets up and runs out too. I'm like, so
Yeah.
Hogan's lost, like, and it sell just a little bit more, like, or at least have Hogan like maybe swing and you miss.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he got him square on the back with the chair, and he was up and out of the ring in no time. Still, like there was no selling on that chair shot.
I think it was a confusion on Arn's part because of Hogan. So Hogan's swinging, but then at the end, like goes to reach for him. So I don't know if Arn really knew what the hell was going on. He's like chair shot. I need to get the fuck out of here. And then Hogan's like, I'm gonna grab you, brother.
Yeah.
It's like, well, should have maybe gone over this beforehand, Hogan.
Yeah. Fuck.
Let's see. Yeah, that was the end of that chapter. The cage, well, not the feud.
I'm just gonna go grab a quick water right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me catch my spot here. So that would end that with Flair. Flair captures the title from um, Macho Man. So they're exchanging fucking titles back and forth. It's kind of weird, and you kind of see how why Flair has 16 titles because him and Macho Man exchange them back and forth here. Uh, let's see. Starcade
All right.
95. Starcade 1995. January 22nd. This was February 1996. The cage match with Flair. And nothing really happens for Savage, really, from February until July. Until that bash at the beach. If I'm not mistaken. Let me make sure. So this was Super Brawl 6, 1996, and then the next pay per view is an uncensored pay per view, which Hogan and Randy Savage. This is the match. This is actually the match that I chose. Never mind. Nothing. Something does happen. So we see the Mega Powers go on to face Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Ming, the Barbarian, Lex Luger, the Taskmaster, Z Gangster, which is Hercules, and the Ultimate Solution, which, if I'm not mistaken, was War Machine in the WWF.
Sorry, who?
The Ultimate Solution. I think he was War Machine, wasn't he? Or the War Master.
You know who?
He had like half a metal face or whatever.
That was Warlord, no?
Yeah, Warlord.
No, that two different guys.
Okay, never mind then.
Ultimate Solution.
I thought he was a lot bigger. The Ultimate. I'm like, damn, he got big.
He was Bane in Batman and Robin.
Okay.
With
so they were just actors.
Both. But he was a professional wrestler and an actor.
Mm-hmm.
But he was known for playing Bane with Poison Ivy. There was it Uma Thurman. That was George Clooney's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Bane in that. R.I.P.
Can you rank your favorite Batman?
Ooh.
So we have
Michael Keaton #1, hands down.
Michael Keaton #1. He's my #1 as well because nostalgia. Not only nostalgia, but they kind of seems like they did it right.
Those two movies were done really well.
Yeah.
I might go Christian Bale.
I'd have to
for
say
the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
I go Adam West because I grew up on that 1960s Batman.
I guess the question is, who's the worst? Is it
George Clooney?
Clooney or what's the other guy?
Val Kilmer did okay. Val Kilmer was okay.
Val Kilmer off looks for me is the worst, just off looks. If I had to base it off of looks.
Dude, George Clooney's batsuit had fucking like hard nipples, for Christ's sake. Like,
yeah, well, that turned me on, so I'm fine with it. Had me.
I hate it because like I love Uma Thurman, I love Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind George Clooney as an actor, but that movie was like just garbage, top to bottom.
I like it because of the garbageness. I want you to freeze. You know what time is it?
Time freeze to meet you.
Yeah, freeze to meet you. I love it because of that. And I don't really love it because of that, but like he's definitely it's definitely up there for the worst.
Yeah.
You can make an argument.
And I haven't seen Ben Affleck yet. I haven't seen
I haven't seen those either. Oh, I have, but I kind of I know I went in with already hating him, so I can't really.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to see it.
Right.
But I did go see it. So, where I saw the Justice League, I didn't see Batman vs Superman, which I heard I should see from people, and I heard I should. I heard mixed reviews.
Never mind. I want to see 1984 or whatever, 1983 with Wonder Woman, man.
It's out Christmas Day, right, on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, let's talk about this Doomsday shit show of a cage match.
Oh, do we have to?
This is awesome because I've never seen this, and it's complete donkey shit. Yeah, but it's hilarious.
It's amazing too because like what okay, now I just mentioned this like 10 minutes ago. People that were watching WCW that followed it because of Hogan were probably thinking like, what the fuck is Hogan doing
Hmm.
when they grew up with him in WWF and his title runs and like, just whatever. And then you get this shit that he's been involved with in WCW. Now he's going to be in this Dungeon of Doom shit show.
Don't put this on Dungeon and Doom. This is Hogan's creative right here. So
But just think in a few months' time, it's NWO,
yeah,
and all of a sudden WCW is nothing like what it was.
this
Like it's
is this is Saturday morning cartoons compared to what they're gonna fucking do. This is
yeah,
cartoony shit compared to what we're gonna get coming up in the later months. This is a 3-story cage with a WCW cage at the bottom. We have scaffolding, and that's at the entrance. And then we have a regular cage or regular ring. Sorry, to have the regular pay per view. And
yeah.
yeah, and it's so crazy. So the 3 stages are Ric Flair and Arn are at the top, Barbarian, Meng, Kevin Sullivan, and Lex Luger in the middle. And I guess the bottom was supposed to be uh, Z Gangster, aka Hercules, which should have been. They couldn't
What
use
was it?
Hercules.
I thought Z Gangster was
Sorry, Z Man.
Z Man, Tiny Lister,
Yeah, sorry, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Sorry, yeah, completely brain farted. Yeah. No
And also,
holds bar Christmas. Yeah, so he's Z Gangster here, and then the actor I guess that played Bane, he's gigantic. The Ultimate Solution.
yeah, which
They're not there though. They mentioned a couple times that they're not present, and so they start the match, and man, so it's pretty much we have a Hulk up right away at the top of the cage. They don't even make it to the second part, and Hulk already has to Hulk up. He already has to bust out his patented moves. Um, and it's just like Arn and Savage throwing each other into the cage. Hogan and Flair, and then they switch it up. And you don't have to pin anybody. You don't have to make anyone submit. You just have to escape. So I'm guessing if Flair or
Arn.
Arn left, they won.
Yeah, they could have just escaped at the top and won, but then you don't beat Hogan, right? You win, but you don't destroy Hulkamania. There was one thing I wanted to mention. I couldn't remember what it was. I had to look it up. The Ultimate Solution. Do you know what his original WCW name was?
No,
The Final Solution.
the final solution. The
And for those of
final
you who
countdown.
don't know a lot about world history, the Final Solution was what the Nazis had in plan for the Jews.
Yeah.
So after WCW came out with the Final Solution, numerous Jewish organizations across America stepped up and said, please let's not use those terms exactly. Let's find something more, less hateful.
Yeah. Now that
And so
you
they
talk
had to
about
go
it, yeah, I've heard it mentioned that.
they had to
Yeah.
go back and be like, okay, so we can't use the final solution, so let's
Yeah.
go with the ultimate solution, which isn't a hell of a lot better when you think about the whole thing, right? Like, Christ Almighty, just call him fucking genocide at that point.
I think that would have been more acceptable, wouldn't it? Because
Hulkicide.
it's not necessarily like linked to like Nazis or anything. It's like
Yeah,
almost
it's just like the murder of
yeah,
humanity.
yeah.
Christ Almighty, WCW, the final
Hey,
solution.
well,
Man, oh
dude,
man.
they have the Doomsday Cage match. What do you expect?
Yeah, well, you have
With
Kevin
very
Sullivan.
very questionable rules. I don't know what the fucking rules are, but
And I think we've talked about this before with these kind of cage matches. It's scary watching those three-tiered cages, dude.
mhm.
Like you're waiting for something to break.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and so they're on cages. Like their feet are on cages, and it looks like they're gonna fall through. Um,
Could you imagine if Hulk Hogan fell and broke something?
so they escape, And apparently, Arn and Flair aren't allowed to leave that cage. Apparently, if once they advance, that's it. You're supposed to stay where you're at, or
Yeah. You have to work your way up to the top, but once
Mhm.
you get there, the guys that are at the bottom tiers aren't allowed to follow you up.
Yeah,
So you can fight two guys here, no problem. Then you go up. You fight two, three guys here, no problem. Then you go up. Then you fight two, three guys, whatever. But the previous guys are not allowed to follow you. So it's a handicap match, but it's a more fair handicap
yeah.
match.
So
It's
they moved on to the second layer where there's four guys. There's Mang, Barbarian, Lex Luger, and Sullivan. And somehow, after getting beat up for a while, they're able to trap Mang and Barbarian in one cell and lock it and fight Sullivan and Luger on the other one. And then Hogan tries to murder Kevin Sullivan. He tried to fucking toss him off the second story, like scaffolding. Is this where they did they use powder here? They used powder here.
yeah, they did.
I think to get in two different occasions to get past this, and then it's Lex Luger and Sullivan at it for a while. They make it to the outside and they're brawling to the outside. They make it to the original ring and it allows for the other guys in the cage to just leave because that's what they had to do. You know, they're not part of the match anymore.
You're done.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's good to know that the heels are following rules
Yeah,
and not
yeah. They're like,
dumping
oh, I
Hogan and
guess,
Macho. Like,
yeah, I guess
well, they
you
they
advanced
beat
the
us,
stage.
guys.
As these guys are fighting, as Hogan and Savage are fighting Lex and Sullivan, out comes out the Gangster and the Ultimate Solution, and they start beating up on Hogan and Savage. They go to the ring, and it's 4-on-2. Someone calling? No, that was it. Did you hear that? Is Ryan not there? Yo, Ryan. 1 second, people. Let's see. I think Ryan might be off the phone. Or I can't hear him. Let's see. Doo-doo. It says Ryan isn't online. We'll give him a second, see if he pops back out here on Zoom. So Z-Man and Ultimate Solution take Flair and Hogan and Macho Man to the ring. They're all beating on them there, and then out comes Flair and Arn, and they're all beating up on these guys, on Savage and Hogan. Savage and Hogan use the powder to the eyes on I think it was Z Gangster and the Ultimate Solution. So the Ultimate Solution and Z Gangster they're all blinded, they can't do shit. And they have frying pans handed to them by I forgot who came out and gave them frying pans. So now they're beating the shit out of Brutus the Barber Beefcake came out with frying pans, and he's hitting these guys with frying pans over the head. And it's a complete shit show. Hogan's fucking frying pan breaks over, I think, Ultimate Solution. So he just has a handle, and then you have Macho Man going at it against everyone with the frying pan. Everyone's trying to sell the frying pan, which you can tell is super fucking flimsy. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Lex Luger comes out and puts on this ridiculous glove that commentary tries to sell as a loaded glove of sorts. I don't know. So Luger puts on the glove. Macho Man's being held by Flair. as Luger goes to punch Flair, or sorry, as he goes to punch Macho Man ducks under. Luger hesitates and then still swings at Luger, still hits him, even though he saw Macho Man. Like again, another little bit of a bots that you kind of catch, but it's a horrible catch. Flair gets hit by the loaded glove, and let's see, how does this fucking match end? Because it ends soon after. Lex puts on the loaded glove, hits Flair. That mistake, Savage. Okay, yeah, they're for some reason Hogan's trying to escape. He's pulling Savage with him. Savage turns around, comes back, or dives back in, pins Flair with no one doing anything and no one stopping him. 1, 2, 3. They get out of there, and Hogan and Macho Man get the win. Shit match. It was really weird. Yeah, I don't know. It was. I'm glad I got to check it out. I had never really seen this match. I'd seen the highlights. I guess I've broken one of these matches down, and it was a little bit different. Me and Ryan had talked about it. It was the one where Russo won, where he came away with the championship, where he was wearing all the football gear, and he had like a bat. That one, the ring was in the cage, and it was just that, from what I remember. I don't think it was like a separate whole thing. And the way to win was escaping. That was the way to win, not eventually pinning your opponent all the way at the bottom and making. At that one, you had to make your way to the top and get the championship, but make your way out with the championship as well. It was weird. This one was different, similar in ways with the cage stacking, but different in the stipulations of the match. Both stupid stipulations, stupid gimmick matches, in my opinion. I know they're trying to do something different, but I don't know. I think they're trying to do too much. What's up with Ryan? Let's see. Maybe it's my internet. Well, still no Ryan. We'll see if he jumps on still. The loaded glove. Yeah, that was a weird match. The Doomsday Death Clock match. Let me get back on track here. I'm going to find my spot on the notes. Slamboree. This was the match that I just broke down. Fucking lost. No, he does nothing at Slamboree, which is a month after the uncensored pay-per-view, which is what this Doomsday Cage match was on. Let's see what Ryan says. Let me give him a call real quick. He said to give him a call. Let's see. Sorry, guys, for the technical difficulties, but that's technology. So there's nothing after uncensored. This Doomsday Cage match with the Mega Powers defeating everybody and anybody that Hogan and Macho Man have ever faced. So Next month at Slamboree, Macho Man doesn't get to do it. Well, he doesn't do anything. He's not in any feuds. Let's see if I see him on the card anywhere. Nope. Oh, Ric Flair and Randy Savage with Woman Elizabeth defeated Arn Anderson and Eddie Guerrero. He was reluctantly teaming with Flair, and eventually he doesn't team with like he does. He Flair wants to form a team with him, but he doesn't want to. At the Great American Bash, it's Ric Flair and Arn Anderson uh, taking on Kevin Green, R.I.P. I think he just died. R.I.P. Kevin Green and Steve McMichael, future member of the Four Horsemen. This is Randy Savage as their coach, so he was coaching them here to take on Ric Flair and Arn Anderson. Steve McMichael turns on Kevin Green here and joins the Four Horsemen. WCW title was won by the Giant taking on Lex Luger this month. Same month. Same pay-per-view. Let's see. Then this next month we're gonna get things going with the Bash at the Beach, 1996. For a couple of months now, we have had Hall coming out to the ring, saying he had a big surprise. Eventually, Nash gets introduced. Nash power bombs Eric Bischoff off the stage onto the tables, which will lead to the match at Bash at the Beach, which is a 3-on-3. They say they're going to have their third man versus WCW's guys, and it's going to be Macho Man, Lex Luger, and Sting. These guys say they have a third man, but they don't say who it is, and we all know who it is. Hogan comes out and drops the leg. He actually drops the leg on Macho Man, so they beat up Macho Man, dropped the leg on him. Lex Luger was injured earlier and was taken away, so it was 2-on-3. 2-on-2, which they thought, but 2-on-3 when Hogan came out. And I don't think we see Hogan again until Halloween Havoc. Next pay-per-view after this would be Hog Wild, where Hollywood Hulk Hogan wins it from the Giant. He wins the WCW World Heavyweight Championship from the Giant. Even the poster has Hulkamania, or the Hulkster, with him in white, yellow, and red. He had already turned. They had just turned here at Bash at the Beach. I don't know if they already had this poster. It seems like they already had this poster already. He wins the title, and here's where they spray paint the title with the NWO. New World Order. Was Savage on this card? I'm not seeing him. I'm going to take a quick look. Yeah, I don't see him anywhere on here unless he was up on a dark match. No, I didn't see him. All right. Fall Brawl, 1996. You had your War Games. Savage wasn't a part of those, so. Nope. No Savage here either. So Savage is off until Halloween Havoc, where he has a title shot versus Hulk Hogan. It's all decked out by what do you call it? Ooh yeah, snap into a Slim Jim. All the Slim Jim stuff is all decorated everywhere. Hulk Hogan defeats Randy Savage for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Or he keeps it, sorry. He doesn't defeat him for it. He keeps it. I think this is where Liz joins the NWO. She will join the NWO, but Macho Man is defeated. He doesn't get the championship from Hogan. And let's see. Next month At World War III, he most likely was in the Battle Royal. The Giant wins the Battle Royal, eliminating Lex Luger. Let me see if Savage was on here. Yeah, most likely he was in the 60-man World War III Battle Royal. I don't see him on the card as having a singles match or anything. Next after that would be Starrcade. This would have as a main event Roddy Piper taking on Hollywood Hulk Hogan for a non-title match. He came out after the Savage Hogan match at at Halloween Havoc. He came out after that. You heard the bagpipes. Hogan's all scared after the match. Let's see if Savage is on this card. The Outsiders. Nope, Savage isn't even on this card. He's not here on this Starrcade. I wonder if he was injured or if he had to take off or something. Sold out 1997. Let's see. I think I wrote down when he was out. No. Well, he's going to be out for a while. After the NWO is going to be doing their thing, and he's eventually going to come back. Let's see. I wonder what happened to Ryan's Skype. Maybe if I close mine out. I don't know what's up with Skype. Trying to find my spot again. So yeah, he's not at Sold Out either. And he'll eventually come back with Sting. And they don't know who they're working for. These guys, they're kind of acting as free agents on the outside. And he joins the NWO. What pay-per-view is it that they're at? Fuck. Is it uncensored? No, because here he's already in the NWO. Uncensored 1997. He's already in the NWO. Because the Giant turns, and then they chokeslam him, and that's when the Giant turns. I know he comes back with Sting, and they're kind of just free agents, and people don't know what side they're on, and they think they're going to attack the NWO. But both him and Sting are dressed in black, so it's kind of confusing. You don't know what side they're working on. And then eventually, he joins the NWO. I wonder if it was a Starrcade when he faced Roddy Piper. That might have been the turn at Starrcade. And he would have already been in the NWO. Or maybe at Super Brawl 7. Yep, Super Brawl 7. He joins the NWO. He helps Macho Man defeat, or he helps Hulk Hogan defeat Roddy Piper. And that's how you get your Macho Man introduction into the NWO, which this will lead to a feud with Diamond Dallas Page and Kimberly. And the feud's kind of interesting because you have Diamond Dallas Page and his wife Kimberly, and they expose that she's DDP's wife. Eventually, they expose that she's a Playboy cover girl, I think, or a centerfold cover girl. I don't know exactly which one that she's in it. And this leads to like an 8 month feud with DDP where they go from pay per view to pay per view facing each other, and they each have a beautiful woman on their side, which kind of brings its own thing to the match. Um, let's see. Sorry, Ryan can't get on. I'm a little distracted by that. Trying to figure shit out. Uncensored 97. Team NWO, Hollywood Hogan, Randy Savage, Kevin Nash. Scott Hall defeated Team Piper, which would be Piper, Chris Benoit, Steve McMichael, Jeff Jarrett. And then there's Team WCW as well. Lex Luger, the Giant, and then Scott Steiner. Yo,
I'm back.
you're back.
Was it 1999 now?
No, I am talking about 1997 uncensored.
Okay.
So kind of he's already taken kind of a back seat. Well, not he hasn't taken a back seat, but he's joined the NWO. So at Super Brawl
Wait 1
7, he
second.
joins the
Well, last
NWO.
I heard there was a cage match. What's the NWO? No.
Well, the cage match leads to him not really doing anything.
Yeah, because it was what 4 months or so, 5 months between that match and the NWO forming.
Let's see, 96 uncensored was the cage match, and then Slamboree he didn't do anything. If I'm not mistaken. No, it's the Giant. It beat Sting for the World Heavyweight Championship in '96. Am I in the right month? Yeah, it was May 19th.
Yeah, so now in the case, so then this is where the outsiders start making their debut now in May and in
Yeah.
June and start wreaking havoc and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, because Hogan's not here and Macho Man's not here. Yeah, Macho Man's not here. And then at the
That's right. That's right.
yeah, at the Great American Bash, the Giant beats Lex Luger for the WCW Championship. Ric Flair and Arn Anderson take on Kevin Green and Steve McMichael, and this is where Randy
R.I.P.
Savage.
R.I.P. Kevin Green today.
Yeah, R.I.P. Kevin Green. I mentioned that earlier. Right? I talked about this a little bit.
God damn it.
Randy Savage is their coach for some reason with Deborah, because Deborah's dating Steve McMichael, I think, at the time. She betrays Steve McMichael at the time. Or no, her and Steve McMichael betray Kevin Green, right? They join the
Four Horsemen.
Yeah, they joined the Four Horsemen. Randy Savage was the coach, so he really wasn't. I don't know if he was hurt or what happened, but he was the coach here. Next month is the Bash at the Beach.
And that's the big one.
Mm-hmm. What do you remember about this, Ryan? I kind of already talked about it a little bit.
Well, I mean, what's not there to remember? It's the NWO, baby. It's who's that third man. Hogan comes out for the save and betrays the WCW, right?
Well, that's the rumor. That's what I think it should have been Sting. Should have been Bret Hart. No,
it would have made a lot of I've always wondered why they didn't do Sting.
It's Sting.
But it makes a lot of sense when you think about outside guys joining forces to destroy the WCW. So, I mean, Macho Man would have made a good one.
Yeah,
but I think the problem is that like if you have Hogan turn heel, then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, they're unstoppable, because everyone knows that if Macho were to turn heel and Hogan's going to be a babyface still, Hogan's going to go over eventually, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the NWO would never gain the momentum, like Retribution. It'll just never gain momentum. And it'll just fizzle out and die.
Yeah. And then next month is Hog Wild. Hogan wins the title off of the Giants. No Macho Man there. No Macho Man at Fall Brawl, which is the NWO team versus.
Is that the one with fake Sting and
yeah,
where fake Sting comes out and real Sting comes out and wreaks havoc, and then leaves and Luger gets beaten by that weird deathlock face lock
angle.
Yep,
100%. Yeah, because Sting's like, "Oh, you guys don't believe in me? I'm out of here. I'm the Stinger. And
Yeah,
then
he
he
comes
leaves.
in, destroys the NWO, then pieces out.
Yeah. No. Again, no Savage here. Next month is Halloween Havoc. So the reason Savage was kind of gone and put away already is because we needed Hogan to win the championship. This was already a set pay per view at Halloween Havoc by Slim Jim, so they needed Macho Man in the paper or in the main event for the title,
Yeah.
and they kept him away. And now was the time for him to lose to Hogan. I think this is where the Giant turns, and he chokeslams Macho Man, if I'm not mistaken.
You might be right on that.
Yeah, I think Giant joins the NWO. They take out Macho Man, and then at the end we have the bagpipes play, and we have the fucking year-long build to Hogan, Roddy Piper.
Yeah, you're 100% correct on that exact wrap up. Choke slam, Hogan wins, and Piper's debut.
Let's see. Next month after this, I don't know if they do anything with him. World War Three. I'm most likely sure that he was in the tournament. It's a 60-man fucking battle royal.
Yeah, there's gonna be guys in there that you don't even realize are in that match.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the other than that in the pay per view, I believe. Starcade 1996 is Piper taking on Hogan in a non-title match. So they set it up from Halloween Havoc. He just comes out, and then we don't get the match till here, and Piper wins. Uh,
Oh, so after Halloween Havoc, his deal was over, and he left the company.
okay.
That's why he was gone.
Oh yeah, was it an angle or was it real? Because he'll come back as the free agent, him and Sting, dressed in black.
What I'm reading here is that Savage left WCW following the event when he was unable to reach a new deal with the company. So that could have been one of those.
They kind of just tied it in, I guess.
Yeah, it could have just been like his contract's over, and then they eventually negotiate something new, and they just angle it in that way.
Yeah, I think it would make sense. Yeah. So Piper wins at was it Starcade 96. We move on to 1997, Sold Out. Is this where he comes back? No, he comes back at Slamboree. Sorry, I think they're teasing if he's coming
Yeah,
back.
he comes back on a Nitro, and he says he's not leaving the ring until Sting comes out,
Hmm.
and then him and Sting just kind of what is it? They just kind of like pop in the next few Nitros off and on as free agents. And the only way and then so I guess it says here that the only way that he would be allowed to have another WCW career is if he joined the NWO.
Oh yeah, that's because Bischoff had already turned.
Yeah,
So Bischoff was telling him, "You have to join the NW."
you be with us if you want to have a career.
Hmm.
Which actually, knowing that bit of information makes his NWO run make more sense to me because I always knew Savage in the NWO was always fighting for top spot.
Hmm.
It always seemed like he didn't fit, like he was always trying to be the number one guy or get out.
Hmm.
And that makes sense that he was almost like forced into it.
Yeah. No, and then that ties in later with him and Hogan rivalry.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here at Uncensored 1997, he's part of the NWO team versus Team Piper. It's Piper, Chris Benoit, Steve McMichael, and Jeff Jarrett with Dennis Rodman. But Team Lex Luger's in there too, so you have a triangle elimination match. It's Lex Luger, the Giant, and Scott Steiner.
Huh. What a team.
Next at Spring Stampede 1997, April 6th. Let's see. Randy Savage takes on he loses to Diamond Dallas Page by no disqualification. I didn't choose any Diamond Dallas Page matches, and I'm pretty sure you did the same because we've picked them in some of our favorite matches, some of our WCW favorite matches. We broke down Diamond Dallas's Page matches. We've broken down these exact pay-per-views that these matches have been
Yeah,
on. So we
yeah,
kind of just stayed away from them.
yeah, we kind of touched on that rivalry a lot at points in times.
So this is going to be the start, I think, of a like a 8 month feud where they go for 8 months and they fight over like 4 or 5 different pay-per-views where they go at it with each other. And it's an interesting rivalry. They both have beautiful valets as their managers, Kimberly and Miss Elizabeth, respectively. And it's that whole dynamic of boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband, and they both
Yeah,
each have it too. And we have Savage exposing the truth that DDP is married to Kimberly, and Kimberly was a centerfold model. I think that
hmm
was her thing. That was her gimmick, and they're making fun of her for that.
and she supposedly swapped with Bischoff.
Yeah, uh huh.
Oh,
So
I love that rumor.
yeah, so that's kind of how their feud goes on. At Slamboree '97. Let's see if he's doing anything there. Don't see anything. Not even in the NWO match. Maybe had a month off. Let's see. Oh shit! I went all the way to '98. Let's see. The Great American Bash here '97. Randy Savage takes on Diamond Dallas Page in the Falls Count Anywhere match. A continuation of their rivalry. It gets kind of ugly, man. Well, they go after Kimberly pretty bad.
Yeah, they definitely did like some spots here where it's like you go back and you watch it now, you're like, oof, like. But I mean, that was wrestling then.
Let,
Actually, one of the I don't know if I mentioned it before. One of my favorite angles in that feud was the Monday Nitro when Macho Man's taking on La Parca. Was it? I'm pretty sure it was La Parca, and La Parca gets the better of Macho Man, and out of nowhere hits him with a diamond cutter. Gets
mm-hmm.
the 1, 2, 3, takes off the mask, and it's Diamond Dallas Page the whole time. And thought that was an absolute great little sneak it in there because La Park is getting his ass kicked for a little bit, and turns out he moves out of the way of a flying elbow drop, I think it was, and then hits the diamond cutter, and it's like, what the fuck? And yeah, DDP in disguise, and fucking the pop that he gets at that point in time was amazing.
Yeah, no, at this time, DDP was getting crazy pops. People wanted him really bad.
I think it's fair to say, I think we talked about it before, but I think DDP is probably the ultimate people's champion.
Spring Stampede 1998. He is taking on the Stinger for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, and he beats Sting. So Sting at the previous pay-per-view, I think it was, or no, sorry, I think I skipped a couple of pay-per-views for Savage. At the Uncensored, we have Hollywood Hulk Hogan versus Savage, because so when they had the Rodman whole thing, Savage took the loss, and it kind of started brewing between Savage and Hogan. And then Sting beat Hogan in Super Brawl 8, and eventually Macho Man gets a shot at he beats Hogan in the cage match. Or no, Hogan beat him. I forgot how Randy Savage got the title shot against Sting, but that's kind of what led to. And you mentioned that earlier. It brewed the rivalry between Macho Man and
Macho and
Hogan,
Hogan.
because Hogan is the leader of the NWO, and he wants to be the one and only guy to go for the belt. He doesn't want anyone else to go for the belt. Nash comes out to help Randy Savage, so he beats Sting, wins the title, and let's see. Next month he's taking on Bret Hart with Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper's a special guest referee. Did he lose it in between this?
Yeah, I think Hogan probably got that belt by then.
Yeah,
No,
like right away. I think he's definitely not on a pay-per-view.
no, I know that he dropped it to Hogan on Nitro at some point in time.
Was it the
Um,
Nitro after?
it could have been. They did that a lot to him.
Yeah, I know it always was Hogan too that did this shit.
Let me see if I can see anything.
I don't see the belt defended at like the next two fucking pay-per-views. But Randy Savage is
Sting
fighting.
Savage appeared. Sting, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Who's champion?
What month are you in here?
Bash at the Beach 1998. I went 2 ahead now. Yeah, Goldberg's a champion here in Bash at the Beach.
90. No, we're 97 though.
Yeah, I'm already at 98 somehow.
Maybe that's why. Bash at the Beach 97. That was let's see, did we have a title match?
Did I actually press 97 to go full year ahead now? Right?
Yeah, because we were in 97 when he joined the NWO. Luger and the Giant in the main event in 97 beat Hogan and Rodman.
No, because he started the whole 8-month rivalry with DDP in 97 Great American Bash, and then Bash at the Beach. He was on Team Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Because he's fighting with Scott Hall.
Lex Luger, the Giant defeat Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Yeah, Randy,
Giant.
and this is where Randy Savage gets beat.
So
here.
Lex Hogan. So
And then Road Wild is next.
in August,
I might have
August
pressed next
9th,
year.
Lex Luger beats Hogan for the title.
Okay.
So somewhere there, Hogan must have gotten the belt off of Savage.
Fucking jerk.
Shocking, eh?
Yeah. And then
And that rolls into my next match.
yeah, sorry. Well, I almost skipped your match. What match is it, Ryan?
That is versus Mr. Perfect, or Kurt Hennig, I guess.
Yeah, could they use Mr. Perfect?
I think Mr. Perfect was copyrighted, probably.
Yeah, most likely.
I mean, the same outfit, the same towel, the gum, everything was the same. It's just he goes by his real name instead of Mr. Perfect, right?
Yeah. Super heel Macho Man using Liz as cover. Like, it's awesome to see how he can switch from babyface to heel.
Yeah, and it's weird too because Perfect's not NWO at this point,
No, he's not.
which is weird because I remember Mr. Perfect as Four Horsemen or as NWO. Like that's all. Like I don't remember a lot from his WCW run outside of those two. Oh, sorry, and the West Texas Rednecks later on, but that's best forgotten.
So, during the match, DDP comes out on a text. Macho Man, he attacks Kurt Hennig for some reason. And then Macho Man attacks DDP. And then Hall comes out and all hell breaks loose. And they're just beating the shit out of DDP.
Yeah.
Um,
Just to help. I like that one too because it gave like a. I like that match because it continues on a story, but at the same time we got to see Mr. Perfect and Macho Man in the ring together.
Yeah.
Which I mean, we didn't see it a lot in WWF, but fuck, man, it's funny when you see what some of these guys were able to accomplish in WCW in 96, 97, and you got to think that WWF didn't get rid of them in 93, 94. They might have had like great stories, but they could have had some fun matches.
Yeah. Fall Brawl 97. Lex Luger and Diamond Dallas Page defeat Scott Hall and Randy Savage. Like it's an 8 month. It's an 8-month feud when feuds lasted long.
Yeah.
And it's one of the greatest feuds they've ever had too. Let's see. Here at Halloween Havoc, Randy Savage defeats Diamond Dallas Page in a Las Vegas sudden death match.
I might be wrong, but I think that Macho Man was the referee when DDP won his first title.
Oh fuck!
I might have to look into. I have to go back and look at that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was a four corners match, and I think Macho Man was the referee, and he pinned to give DDP the title over, I think, Flair or Sting or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But
World War III, 97. Scott Hall wins by eliminating the Giant. I'm assuming Savage was in the
had
60
to have
man. Yeah.
been, yeah.
I don't see him anywhere else
When
on
you
the
have
card.
60, yeah, like we said before, when you had 60 men in that ring at one time.
Which will lead to Starcade, Sting versus. Um, wait, why is Sting taking on Hogan? It should be Sting versus Hall, but whatever. Larry Zbyszko's taking on Eric Bischoff with Hall. Did I skip a year ahead? No, there's no way.
No, we're
Yeah,
at the end of
Starcade
97.
97. Yeah. I don't see Macho Man on the card here. Oh, yep, there he is. Scott Norton, Vincent, and Randy Savage. They're moving him further down the card. He's a second match opening up. Defeated Ray Traylor and the Steiner brothers with Ted DiBiase. It was a singles match for. Oh no, sorry, that 6-man tag match. Like I said, it was the second match to open up the card. Getting pushed further and further down. Perry
Yeah.
Saturn and Chris Benoit were further up. They
But
did put on a good match though.
it's more the fact though that also you're putting with Scott Norton and
Mm-hmm.
Vincent.
Yeah, that's the.
Like the Steiners are legit. Ray Traylor's legit. Like Vincent and Scott Norton are good, but out of anyone in the NWO, you had to put Vincent and Scott Norton with Macho Man. Scott Norton, I can see, but Vincent, that feels like a Hogan doing.
Yeah. Seems very shisty. We're moving on to Sold Out 1998. So this is January 1998. Lex Luger defeats Randy Savage in a singles match in the main event. I guess they were having some kind of a feud. It wasn't for a championship or anything. I did move a fucking whole year ahead last time. Super Brawl 8. Lex Luger defeats Randy Savage in a no disqualification match by submission. Now he has a feud with Lex Luger. So it's Lex Luger, Ric Flair, and DDP that he has his major feuds with in the WCW.
Yeah, he had we didn't touch on it earlier, but back before the NWO even formed, there was a good match on Nitro, Macho Man versus Luger, where if Luger had lost, he would have been fired from WCW. He ends up obviously winning the match, but it was just a fun little Nitro 7-minute match maybe. But that's the thing, like you said, right? Like these rivalries, they start when he gets there, and they end when he leaves, or when the company like slowly peters out.
Shit, I lost my place again. Where was I, Ryan?
Sold Out 98.
Sold Out 98. So what's the next one? Uncensored? No, Super Brawl. Nope, Super Brawl 8. I think it touched on that one.
Uncensored is the next one, followed by Spring Stampede. I see.
Okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, so Uncensored, it's Hollywood Hulk Hogan defeats Randy Savage in a steel cage match.
Of course.
I think this is where the
Well, to a no contest.
I think is this where the Piper interferes, but I think there's fans.
Disciple interfered, knocking both referees out, and stopping Savage from beating Hogan. Savage attacks Sting, who interfered. He spat at Hogan, and then he left the ring.
I think there was no. The Piper match is when the Sting guy climbed the cage, the fan. This wasn't it.
Yeah.
Next month is Spring Stampede 1998. Randy Savage defeats Sting for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. And this is kind of where it starts getting at Hogan. And this is where we will see the divide.
Yeah. And also, where it's 98, so this is the summer where the Wolfpack's going to start getting formed too, and he's going to kind of branch off. Like your shirt.
Yeah, that's why I wore my only NWO shirt. Well, I have an Outsiders one, but this one made more sense because he did join the Wolfpack. Nash is sensing that. Well, everyone's seeing it. Hogan senses he's the only leader of the NWO, or the only guy, the top guy.
He's the top guy, yeah.
He's the only one that should have the title. He makes it to where he takes it off of Macho Man, and Nash comes out to help Macho Man. He helped him out with Sting, and he tries to help him out with Hogan, and they form the NWO Wolfpack, the Red and Black.
Yeah.
And NWO Hollywood is pretty much the white and black, run by Hogan.
Yep.
Here at Slamboree, a month later, we have Randy Savage defeating Bret Hart. So Bret Hart has jumped into the WCW now. Roddy Piper was a special guest referee here for some reason.
So that's the one thing I want to do. I want to go back and have a good WCW Bret Hart WCW run.
Mhm.
I guess I got to watch some of that stuff more.
Next month is the Great American Bash. Roddy Piper defeats Randy Savage in a singles match, super quick, super fast, 1 minute and 37 seconds by submission. Savage had been in earlier matches too. There was like some kind of tournament going on or something. But
Which one are we at here?
I didn't skip ahead to the Great American Bash 1998.
Oh, okay, sorry, that was me. I skipped ahead on that. My bad.
Yeah. Let's see. Nothing really. It's kind of, I think it's just filler for his career here.
No, because when you said 1:37, and I was thinking me and you had done that pay per view. It was years later where they stripped all champions and they had like every match was a tournament match. That bullshit that they did, but that was the Russo days years later.
A month later, here at Bash at the Beach, 1998. I don't think he's on the card. Nope. Sit down, Hogan or Macho. Get a month off. Road Wild, 1998. Is he on the card? Hopefully, I don't skip any of the matches. How many matches do we have left?
I have my Fatal 4-Way, but that's in 99, I think it is, or 2000.
Yeah, I think that's the last one. I think mine were all early.
Did we do your third match?
I don't know.
Yeah, 96 in that, yeah.
Yeah, we did Flair. We did the tag match.
Bash at the Beach 99 is my last one.
Yeah.
So a year away.
This is Fall Brawl 1998. Team WC. Is he on Team NWO here? Nope, he's not even on Team Wolfpack. It's Sting, Nash, Lex Luger. Yeah, he's not even on Team Wolfpack.
Jeez.
Halloween Havoc 1998. This is Warrior versus Hogan, and Goldberg versus DDP, where the lights go out. Is he on here?
Oh, yeah.
I don't see him on here either.
No.
This is Drunk Hall versus Nash, where Nash power bombs.
This is the one that we covered this one back in October. I'm trying to think. I wonder why he was off so much at this point in time in 98.
He's not even on the next pay-per-view either. At World War
No,
III.
so
He's
he's
probably
got
he's probably in the tournament. Or sorry, in the 60-man thing, maybe. Probably not. He's been off for a while.
Because I'm not even seeing him in the following month either.
So Nash wins, and we're gonna go to Goldberg and Cattle Prod at Starrcade.
Ugh.
So he's not on there either. DDP versus the Giant, Bischoff Flair. Nope.
You know what? It would make sense that he got hurt because he had some time off and he came back with Team Madness, right?
Yeah.
So this could be around the time where he was out with an injury potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Just take some time off, get some stuff healed up.
Yeah. So we had the finger poke of Doom, and then don't see him at this pay-per-view either. Let's see. This is sold out 1999, so this would be January.
Yeah, so actually it says right here, after June 15th Nitro 98, he took a hiatus to recover from 2 major knee injuries.
That would take a while.
He only came back to help Ric Flair beat Bischoff for the presidency of WCW on December 28th. And then he was gone again before coming back in 99 with Team Madness. So that's why he was out. So he was out for 6, 7 months recovering from knee injuries.
Okay, so that's why he was out this whole time. And he comes back Team Madness, then the match that you have.
Yeah, and that's so Team Madness. Yeah, like that's.
Let's see. So this is
I think they could have done more with it. Who was it? Gorgeous George. Fuck Medusa. Who else was Team Madness? There's another one. Gorgeous George. Miss Madness. I think one of them was his wife. I think it was Miss. I don't know which. But then they introduced Sid as like a bodyguard kind of role. I kind of wish that they didn't have like Savage with the three women. I wish they had throw a valet and maybe Medusa because Medusa was fucking kick ass.
mm-hmm.
But I could see losing Miss Madness or Gorgeous George, lose one of the two, throw Sid in there and maybe someone else, and actually have like a mini faction. I could get behind that, but I don't know. The idea of Macho Man with just three women didn't really do much for me. Didn't help. He didn't need it. Like to have two valets, I guess, wasn't necessary to me.
And his
But
wife.
what's that?
And his wife.
Yeah, I think Gorgeous George was his wife, and I think Miss Madness was Molly Holly
And then he had Medusa.
and Medusa. Medusa, I can get. I don't mind because she was like China in that sense, where she could
Yeah.
like, you could have like women's matches. Where the other two they were more like Miss Elizabeth,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't see why you need two of valets, but neither here nor there. Nitpicking something from 21 years ago.
Yeah, it only lasted 3 months too.
Yeah, enough to get him when he comes back and they do the team match. And it's a different look. He has like that black mesh shirt,
Mm-hmm.
leather pants,
Slick
the
back
tight
hair.
the tight ponytail now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the match that I picked, I liked it because it was one of those matches with like the fun stipulation as a tag match, Sting and Nash versus Vicious and Macho Man. Whoever gets the pinfall wins the title. I love tag team matches like that for some reason. Like they give that extra element of everyone wants to be the one that gets the pinfall. It's not just about winning the match. It's about being the guy that gets the pin also.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those types of matches. I thought it was weird. I wouldn't want to put my title on the match like that. I'd be like, what the fuck? Get out of here.
Yeah. But
Uh,
well, when borders open up, I'm coming for that big gold belt. So you better find yourself a tag team partner.
you better watch out for that leg drop, bro. Yeah, so Randy Savage winds up winning the belt. Whoever pins whoever, well, you can only pin the other opposite team. But that meant Sting could have won, Sid Vicious could have won, Savage could have won, Kevin Nash could have retained. But Randy Savage and Sid win with Savage getting the pin, so he's the new WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
And it was Sid setting it up too, right? Like Sid hits the power bomb, I believe, and then let Macho take the pin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like it was so like it wasn't like any confusion as to who the alpha was in between those two kind of deal.
Yeah. And then, but there was also a little bit of play by Gorgeous George. She goes over to Nash's corner in the beginning, and you're
Yeah,
like, oh my God, she's betraying. And then eventually she winds up betraying Nash. So,
yeah.
um, nothing else really happens. I think he comes back.
He'll win the title and drop it to Hogan on a Thunder, a couple
Yeah.
like, and then this and that and the other thing. It's the story of Macho's career, unfortunately, right? Get the title just to give it back to Hogan.
Mm-hmm. So once he loses it, Medusa and Miss Madness start feuding, and Team Savage breaks up. I think Savage is fired after his feud with Dennis Rodman. Uh, and let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They disband Team Madness.
And that's about it for him.
Yeah.
Because he's gone by 2000. He's gone, and WCW folds a year later, so he wasn't even there for the end of it all, right?
I think he makes one final appearance May 3rd in 2000 on a
Right.
Thunder. He returned part of the Millionaires Club.
Okay,
but I think that was his only one appearance,
just
and he wasn't
one
there
and
for the
done.
fold of it. Yeah, he wasn't there for the when it ended the year after. He eventually winds up joining TNA in 2004. I don't know anything that happens there. Does he win the title?
I don't even know what he does in TNA. I honestly do not know. And the only thing that I know about Macho Man in TNA is Jay Lethal did a fantastic impersonation of him. Like got the I don't even know if Macho Man was even a part of it, but I mean he came out with the wardrobe, did the voice, the music, like the whole thing, and it was
Mm.
absolutely wonderful.
Okay, so Savage returned to professional wrestling at Total Nonstop Action Wrestling Victory Road by confronting Jeff Jarrett. He made his Impact debut on November 19th, confronting the Kings of Wrestling. Um, and then on December 5th at Turning Point, Jeff Hardy, and AJ Styles defeated him in his last match. Savage left TNA on December 8th, disagreeing with the finish of the proposed Final Resolution main event for Jeff Jarrett's NWA World Heavyweight Championship. That was it for him. He did do some acting stuff in Spider Man, Ready
Yep.
to Rumble in 2000, Bolt in 2008, 2009 with Super Rhino.
He was in Bolt. I got like he wouldn't see that movie. I want to watch it with my kids, and I have a reason to.
I think he's one of the thugs, a voice.
Okay.
Let's see. That's it. He dies in 2011, right?
Yeah, heart attack. Um, he had a heart attack, which led to a car accident. He was
Yeah.
driving when he had his car accident. He had just reconnected with like a high school girlfriend or something like that, and they had just gotten married. Um, his brother had said how he was like finally like really happy with life and everything like that, and how everything had gone. And yeah, man,
It sucks.
he's one of those deaths in wrestling where you remember where you were, right?
I don't. In 2000,
No.
well, if I go back to when was this? 2011. Do you remember the month?
May.
May. I was definitely at U of I. 4 years at U of I. Okay, I can kind of picture where I was. I wasn't watching. I wasn't watching wrestling at the time. That's why
Oh, okay.
I cared what people thought about me at the time. So people thought it was stupid. And I was
No,
busy at the time. I worked nights a lot.
I literally I won't forget. I was walking in a handful of groceries and my phone went off and I was like so I put some like I just walked in the front door, put my one handful of groceries down, picked up my phone to see what it was. So it was my brother's text me said Macho Man's dead. And I'm just standing there with like what the like I'm like what the fuck do I do right now? Do I like it was just like the no way. Like all these things start going through your head. And you find the news, you put it on, it was on CNN, breaking news, Macho Man's dead. I'm like, what the fuck, man? It's on CNN. Like that's how big of a deal it was. CNN preempted something to talk about a professional wrestler dying of a heart attack and having a car accident. Like fucking wild, man.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad. We lost him too young. What's awesome though is he had fixed his relationship with WWE, and he was the first introduction into the Mattel line,
Yep.
and I have that Macho Man. It's the
That's
Macho Man
that's
from
the
WrestleMania. Yeah, in white.
purple and white. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah. So that was the introduction back. Well, Macho Man introduced back into the WWE toy line, and I got some.
It sucks that he didn't get to give his speech because fuck, man, what a speech that would have been at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If he was inducted when he was still alive, oh, what would have been?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Hogan, I don't know, it's rumor and innuendo, but they misspelt Lanny Poffo's name when he was walking out to give the introduction. They misspelt Poffo, which I feel like that's something WWF would not fuck up on Hall of Fame weekend.
Mm-hmm.
but the rumor is that Hogan told them to misspell it because he just didn't like Macho Man.
Mm-hmm.
But like one way or another, it's pretty shitty that they misspelled his brother's name as his brother's accepting his Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, I've never heard the rumors, but that would be pretty shitty.
But
Well, it is pretty shitty that they misspelled his name. They should make sure that the person you're inducting, that you fucking spell his name right.
seriously, like, but what can you do, right? It is what it is, kind of shitty, but what can you do, my friend?
Yeah.
And I think we both agreed. Like, I think you had said Razor, Eddie, and Macho,
Mm-hmm.
and I have Austin, Brett, and Macho.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like these last couple of weeks watching Macho Man matches, and I wish I could have had more time to sit down to do a proper timeline, not just watch his matches. But like, I went to go watch 6 matches last week and 6 matches this week, and I ended up fucking watching like hours of it. Just like get home from work, and the kids weren't here, so I just put it through a DVD on, or because I can't. I'm still fighting with the network right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I just threw a DVD on, or I just went on like YouTube and shit to start watching his stuff, and like, oh God Almighty, he was fucking something else.
Yeah,
Watching,
I didn't
watching
realize YouTube had
promos.
a bunch of shit.
It might even be like I say YouTube, but I just typed into Google,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like whatever website pops up. But yeah, watching like his top 10 promos and watching his best moments and shit. Like, oh, good googly moogly, man, oh man, it was good.
Yeah. Well, it was good covering the second half of Macho Man and closing the chapter
I
on
like
his
that we did
career.
this way too, because we've crammed Eddie and Scott Hall and Austin and Brett.
Dude, we got another 2 hours out of Macho Man. This is four
Like we
hours.
we crammed guys' careers into like one episode,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm kind of kicking myself that we didn't just break it down early and later and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because there were guys that we could have had better conversations with for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, they could always be revisited once we go through the wrestlers we want to talk about, and then maybe we can do another lap.
Yeah.
Anything else before we get out of here, Ryan? That was Macho Man's WCW career. If you want to hear our WWF favorite matches, it's the previous episode. Go ahead and check that out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's Christmas, not as we all know it, but it's still Christmas this week, guys. Have a safe and healthy holidays to all the listeners there out in Full Heel Nation.
Christmas.
Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, enjoy it. Be with the loved ones that you can be with. Fucking make the best of the situation that we got, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Come back 2021 strong as hell.
Ooh, yeah, brother. Thanks a lot for joining me every week, Ryan, helping me break down matches, talking about wrestling.
Tune in on Friday for a Christmas special of every time Vince McMahon has had Santa get his ass kicked. There's been a number of times.
Yeah. So
Santa's gotten his ass kicked.
tune in on Friday on Christmas Day. He'll probably have another one.
Yeah.
Join us next week. I don't know what we'll be doing, but we'll be doing something probably.
Yeah, we'll figure something fun out.
Yeah, there's no fights for a month, so I'll have to figure something else out there as well. If you haven't by now, please hit that subscribe button. Smash that like. Just me and my buddies breaking down WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, AEW, UFC, and a bunch of soccer with Football on Full Heel on Thursday. So check that out as well. It's a completely separate podcast about soccer with a different host and a different crew of my buddies, Frankie, Johnny, and Andres, talking about Premier League.
And they all got to talk glorious things about Manchester United this week, and I can't wait to hear it.
And they're gonna skip this week just
to spite me.
Yeah, I'll tell them to go Wednesday. I'll tell them to go tomorrow. I'll be like, hey, you guys want to record different date? I don't think they.
Oh yeah, because that's Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, actually, Johnny's in Mexico.
Oh yeah, fuck. Of course, because he's the one that always shits on United, bastard.
So he's in Mexico. So we'll see. Maybe it's just gonna be Frankie and Andres, a quick one. We'll see. But if not, subscribe and we'll see what goes on. We have a month coming up where we got some space to fill, so maybe I'll be playing video games from the old school and having these guys over. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Hit that subscribe button and yeah, join us next time for the Full Heel Podcast. I love all you guys and thanks a lot, buddy. See you next week, Ryan.